technology nowadays. Sorry.
It's okay. Sorry for that.
Oh, okay, sorry. The current state of immersive technology is, you can see that starting from 2002 until 2022, I was classified under two formations, with the first formations phase and second is the emerging phase. Within the formations phase from 2002 until 2011, only one paper was consistently published every year. The emerging phase starting from 2012 until 2022, where 2018 actually majority of paper was cited on that time, and we can see that following years the research trend is growing, where older during 2009 2020 the destruction from the COVID-19, the most of researcher was still proceeding the research work, most of them in education and training via online. So this is okay. Next is a number of published paper by different country. Can see that it's not surprisingly say that United States they publish 37 paper, which is the highest compared to others, and second which lead by China 16, Australia and the rest of the others is the most significant, is also have significant to publish paper in knowledge training. Okay, for the content analysis based on systematic literature review, 102 publications were analyzed. Type of data collection, you can see the different type of data collections, and the experiments and questionnaire is the most highly used, the most highly chosen by the researcher. Probably is more like to, it's more interesting to conduct this kind of equipments or technology, so you can easily see a quick result from that. And then distribution, and for distribution of participants involved in the study is classified into three, which is the construction workers, student and professional practitioner. Construction workers is gained like by 53%, and student from a construction student 33%, and professional practitioner is 40%. I believe that construction workers is 53%, is the highest because they have more experience compared to the students. While actually we can't deny that students is also important to get involved in this study, because they soon gonna get involved into a real world constructions. As for application area of immersive technology for research training, it's been known that these three applications area is the most highest focus, which is educational for training, monitor on-site environment, and pre-construction planning. As next is classifications of technology platform used for training. I've been looking on the software applications and hardware applications. It's actually have a long listed type of applications in my paper, but I just put a top 5 applications that are the most significant, or the most have been used in the most paper, which is the first. In the software, we can see that Unity 3D is the highest technology that have been used, and hardware is a head-mounted display technology has been used in paper. And for days, I've been using a voice viewer applications to recognize the 6 major cluster. This map actually is illustrated by the keywords, pattern of keywords that have been used in the most of published paper. You can see that different cluster is, or different cluster of different keywords is actually fall into specific purpose, which is the cluster ones is mostly evolutions for applications, and cluster two, cluster two is integrate of application with the human interactions. Cluster three, formations of safety training. Cluster four, environments of safety. Cluster five, occupational health risk and assessment. And cluster six, augmented reality and across multiple discipline. Okay, as still using a voice viewer applications software, and this one is, you can see that the evolutions process of immersive technology adoptions, which is you can see there is a three phase. I classify as a three phase that on the maps, which is on the early phase. Researchers are mostly focused on immersive technology application features, and it started to branch out to the second phase, which is they integrate immersive technology into education and training system. And the third phase is integrate immersive technology into human, physical, emotional, and cognitive response. Okay, as to answer to the research questions, what is the enabler and barriers? You can see that the enablers and barriers enabler is basically a top management approach. If top management approach could not really give us support or support to adopt the immersive technology, nothing's going to be happened as well. So top management as approach is perceptions or attitude, how they are on the immersive technology. However, this says, however, the barriers to this is lack of trust to the system, and some of them are skeptical and more towards the how some of them are skeptical toward the immersive technology, where are they still using conventional training. The second enabler is spending resources, where I'm sorry. Spending resources where the financial resources and availability of immersive technology on investment, and the barriers towards this is limited skills and limited resources and skill availability towards immersive technology. And some of enabler are really important to adopt, to have an expert support, where in terms of develop the culture, immersive technology within the organizations itself. And the barriers to it, this is the limiteds of expertise and trainer to assist during the training practices could be the reluctance of some company to adopt this immersive technology. So as the last enabler is increase user expectations, and the barriers to this is user demography. Some of our workers or some of construction workers did not really have a knowledge and skills towards this immersive technology. So this somehow have to be have some enforced so they can if they know that how good to use it, how effective to use or to implement the immersive technology, they could be adopt this to have more effective and productive training. So the key element to consider for immersive technology adoptions, I've classified into three, which is a people, process, procedure, and technology. So the people is user satisfactions, where as long as it's been known that when the workers itself, lots of paper have been described how workers been feeling so enjoy while exploring the immersive technology. So we can see that user satisfaction is important for the key to consider the immersive technology adoptions, and the accessibility, which is referred to process and procedure, the internet availability and lack of trained workers and technical experts is important. And design functionality, the technical issue due to complexity. Some of the head-mounted, for example, like head-mounted device, some of it like have different size or different type of brand, which is also have effect on the accuracy of the training of the accuracy of the training. So it is important to understand all these elements before consider the immersive technology adoptions. As the conclusions, the immersive technology for assistive training, it can have impact on social, cultural, the economic landscape in both positive and negative ways. And early immersive technology trend, the developments of many tools, machines was based on technical know-how rather than scientific knowledge. Adoptions, immersive training can reduce injuries and fatalities. So thus it's important to understand what are actually the barriers to these people and what are the motivation and enabler to encourage them to the adoptions. As currently no specific maturity model for immersive technology training in the construction industry, so I think it is a time to develop such a maturity model. As for my research deliverable is basically on the year one, I'm conducting systematic literature review, and in the year two, currently right now, I was trying to deliver a Delphi questionnaire which is focused on developing attributes within the maturity model. So it's just it's still ongoing process, and the year three probably how to validate the maturity model itself. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you, Mas Iliani, for your very interesting topic research. Okay, I have a question actually, because based on your systematic literature review, which country that you found that has a lot of using of immersive technology training? Have you found that? In which area? I mean, which countries?
Can you it's a little bit breaking. Can you repeat the questions?
Or you can't hear very clearly. I put that.
Wait for it.
Maybe. Yeah, that one is more clear.
Okay.
Hello?
Wait, yeah.
Here. Okay. Yeah, because it's a big hall, so it's difficult to hear clearly. All right. So from here, okay, I would like to ask about the immersive technology training. From your systematic literature review, which country that they are used the most this technology? Have you found it? Maybe you can.
Well, yeah. Well, I can say that it's actually United States is the most.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me show you the screen now. United States is the most published paper, and they are also actually implement or conduct of using this the most compared to others.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I think we have another questions on the floor. I don't know you can hear or not. I think she have to come here.
Yeah, I think so.
Can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yeah, I think so. Well, you can try to ask. Just now it's a little bit breaking, but it's okay.
Hi, Mas Yani. All right, so
Yeah.
okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right, so since I saw it just now, you are going to conduct your Delphi study,
Mhm.
develop your maturity model, right? So could you please
Yes.
explain a bit on the maturity models, what it's all about?
Well, maturity model is actually the major is a step later. Well, it's wait a second. It's actually they have a different kind of purpose on how the maturity model is reflective. Some of them was to reflect how the organization's level of safety and health awareness or preparedness was for. Some of them was for my case, I might using the barriers and enablers as my attribute to the maturity model. And I was thinking to measure it with the TRL model, if you know, is technology readiness level that have been used by NASA, where how they measure some sort of product of technology is well developed. There is a 10 level of maturity model in that NASA level, in that TRL level model. So mine is actually want to identify, like from the barriers and enablers, what level is actually have been established in the within the immersive technology training in the constructions.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Is there any other questions?
Any question from the members of the floor? All right. Thank you so much, Farisha, for your clear presentation just now. So we wish you all the best in your PhD journey.
Okay, thank you for inviting me to give this small presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have another? Okay. All right. Can share your screen.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Could you hear me?
Yes. We can
Oh,
hear
okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So good morning and good afternoon. So thank you very much for inviting me to join this section. So my name is Qing Yao. So I just finished my PhD, and so today I will give a presentation on my research. So
Congratulations.
thank you very much. So, okay, so my topic is develop a holistic machine learning based approach for building energy consumption prediction under limited data conditions. And so my supervisors are Dr. Akilu and Dr. Georgia. So I'm from MIS department of Manchester University. So so today my presentation will follow these 5 sections: motivations, aims, outline of the research methodology, case studies, and the conclusions. So first, I will talk about the background. So first, I would say that the climate change and energy crisis, which has been almost mentioned in all the every single papers within this research field, and then it comes to the incapability of traditional physical-based method, like in predicting building energy consumption. for buildings that are already in use, the performance gap could be more 40% or even worse. Also, this method, physical-based method, require a very solid domain knowledge and is time-consuming. It requires loads of details. So, and then recently, machine learning method has been widely used in predicting building energy and shows a quite promising result. But we know that for machine learning method as a data-driven method, the data quality actually to a great extent determines the performance of machine learning method. However, in reality, we all know that for most of the existing buildings, especially for residential buildings, the data availability is quite challenging. It is very hard to get a very detailed data from buildings such as the indoor environmental data and some occupant data is to get, because then okay, sorry, then it comes to my starting point of my research is whether we can use machine learning method to predict the building energy consumptions of buildings that using machine learning method with very limited data. So here is my some objectives. First is develop a comprehensive understanding of the research trend in terms of building energy consumption prediction. The second is I want to know I want to benchmark the performance of machine learning in terms of predicting building energy consumption with very limited data, so that we can have a baseline of machine learning performance. Then I want to implement feature engineering, such as feature creation and feature selection, to explore the deeper information within the existing data and create new features so as to extend the data dimension in order to alleviate the problem associated with limited data. The last objective is to develop a human occupant behavior simulation module to generate some electricity related occupant data for machine learning as extra input data. So here is the outline of my research methodology. So after introduction, a systematic review would be conducted to create a broader view of the research in this field. After that, it is the chapter 4 is the benchmark of machine learning methods, and then it's a feature. Then after that is a general feature selection strategies for machine learning methods in predicting energy consumption. After that, I conduct a feature selection specific feature selection strategy called brutal feature selection and empirical mode decomposition to stick the deeper information hiding in the existing data. After that, agent-based modeling was used for simulate human behaviors, and then come to the conclusion. So here actually is a little bit repeat, but is a more detailed ones. For systematic review, actually 6 databases including a total of 2,500 papers are initially included for analysis, and so then actually some direction I look into is the research trend prediction approach. So, and what type of buildings and the data granularity, like the interval of the data, like is that hourly data or minutes-based data are included, and the energy type, whether it is like the heat demand or electricity usage, something like this. And the data size, of course, is very important. So it's regarding how long the data has been recorded, like 1 week. It can be as short as weeks or days, and it can be long as 10 years. And the building data types, as I mentioned, like occupant data, indoor environmental data, outdoor weather data, some geometry data as well. So for benchmark machine learning performance, actually, the weather data, only weather data was used as the input data, and electricity usage as the label or output data, which I want to predict. So some of the machine learning method, at least here, has been used. And then as for, I want to know for different type of buildings, how the performance of machine learning would be. So like a teaching, it's like a teaching building and the library and the student hall were used as a target building. So actually the performance is not promising. So the solutions actually, because of limited data, the performance is not promising. So actually a natural way is to use to create more data because of limited. So once you have more data, maybe you could have a better performance. So then with the existing data, actually empirical mode decomposition was used on weather data to break down the weather data to a series of subset weather data. So we can see some deeper patterns hiding within the weather information, and then time information was also extracted from weather data, so that we have a quite large data size. And then agent-based modeling was used to simulate like the occupancy profile, like how many people are in the buildings, and the number of computers that are currently in use within that time, and how many lights is on, and sort of other personal devices or personal charging devices. So all these data are put as input data. But we know once with the data, if you extend the feature set to a larger dimensions, then actually is too much. Maybe some of the data within the extended feature set is not irrelevant or repeat or redundant features. So we need to eliminate these features so that we will not drag down the performance of machine learning methods. So in that way, a series of feature selection techniques has been used, like filter feature selection or wrapper feature selection method. After that, we use the selected feature set, which is most representative feature set for machine learning to do predictions. Okay, so these are general routes. So actually, this is the three buildings are used for case studies for this. You can see George Beck building is like teaching buildings, and Alan Gilbert Learning Common is a library, and Western Hall is a student hall, is more like a residential building. So and here actually this is the 3 years energy consumptions. Energy consumptions data this is a heat map. As we can see for George Beck building, the energy patterns is very obvious. You can see is during daytime, during working hours, the higher energy were consumed, and after off work time, the energy consumption is relatively lower. And for when it comes to Alan Gilbert Learning Common, we can still see some patterns. We can still see some patterns very similar to George Beck. During the working time, the energy consumption pattern is relatively higher, and during off work time, the pattern is less energy is consumed during this time. But we can see during June, July, and August, the energy is relatively different, the energy consumption pattern, because during this time it is summer holiday. Some undergraduate students will leave school, and but during that time, so you can see the energy consumption is lower, but we still have some postgraduate students. They will remain here to do dissertations, some sort of these research activities. So that's why the consumption during work time is still higher. And we can see the Western Hall is the pattern is not obvious. So because it's a more like a residential building type of buildings, so occupant behaviors could be more random. So and it reflects it in energy consumption is less obvious pattern included for search. Actually, weather information from both from Manchester Airport weather station and on-campus weather station are collected. And then apart from that, due to Alan Gilbert Learning Commons is relatively new buildings, is built, I think is operated in 2014. So actually it's quite modern one. And so we are lucky to have that building access record. And then it comes to my case studies. So first is the benchmark. So I think I've stated before, actually, we know that for case study 1, I use weather data from airport station, from airport weather station, and then the energy consumption, the target data I want to predict is the energy consumption from George Beck buildings. So for machine learning method has been used to predict hourly energy consumption of George Beck buildings. Actually, the result actually is for ensemble method, which is voting regressions. So ensemble method actually it's a combination of all sorts of the above method. So it's like more like so these three machine learning they each give their result, and voting regression has combined their result to make an average result, so that it will not generate a very biased result, and then actually the performance is the best. And then I came to my case study 2, is I still use the weather data as input, and I try to use machine learning method to predict the hourly energy consumption of the 3 buildings I have. So actually a better performance was achieved when predict the energy consumptions of building that has a very obvious patterns, because it's relatively easy for machine learning to understand. And for actually the weather conditions hardly have any impact on the energy usage of Western Hall, but so because it's quite understandable, because we know actually occupant behavior account for the primary reason for the energy consumptions. And then it comes to feature selection strategies. Okay, first, before applying a feature selection to select the most representative features, I actually implement the delay effect on the weather conditions, and I extract some time information. For why I want to use delay effect, because actually the heat, if a heat want to go inside of the buildings, it actually will take some hours, right? So because the isolation of the walls, so consider that. Actually, that's the reason I apply a delay effect. So so that actually the data dimension has extend to a great extent. After that, some general feature selection strategies was implemented. So as listed here. So to select the most representative features. So after that, the selected features was actually was fed into a artificial neural network to do predictions. And here is the result. As we can see, for once we use for the performance in terms of mean absolute error, actually with feature selection strategies, the error drops to a great extent, so that which implies that our proposed feature selection strategy actually works. But still some there are still some limitations. The first, the principle of the proposed feature selection strategy is to determine the feature set according to the performance of metrics such as root mean square error or absolute error or the coefficient determinations. But it often ignores the fact that the randomness in some irrelevant features could occasionally make it itself very important and included in the selected feature set, and then is the occupant behavior haven't been included in this research. So to tackle the first limitations, actually I propose brutal feature selection strategies to select all the relevant features. So the core idea of brutal feature selection actually, for example, is here. Like here, we want to know whether temperature and wind speed is very important for energy consumptions. So actually what we do is actually we first copy these two features, and then we shuffle these features. So we random shuffle these features and we combine these use this extend feature set and feed them into a random forest, and then we calculate the importance of the each features. So if the importance of these two features are greater than the maximum value of these shuffled features, we think these features are important. Otherwise we discard, otherwise we think these features are less important, because you think in this way, if the importance of this feature set actually is less than a random feature we generated, so which means it does not important, because some random features it could be more important than you. So it's not reasonable to include this sort of these features, the original features. So based on that, so the methodology of this case study is, so first, you actually after the data pre-processing process, like data cleaning, make the data clean, then we did an empirical data analysis to get a broader view of the data we have, and then brutal feature selection was first applied to generate the first round important features. So in that, and that empirical mode decomposition was used to decompose the generated feature subset, and then we use brutal feature selection again to select the most representative and relevant features. So after that, I put all the generated data into a machine learning method and do predictions. Actually, here actually you can see six machine learning method has been used, and the proposed feature selection strategy has been used for all three types of buildings. We can see in general, the proposed method has improved the performance of machine learning. Almost all the machine method, and no matter for what kind of buildings, it all works good. So, and then within actually we can see actually the random forest shows the best performance, so that we select the machine so that we use a random forest to do final predictions. You can see here is the results, some evaluation metrics. So we can see random with the proposed method, the prediction result performance has been improved to a great extent. And but still we will have a limitation a bit, as mentioned before, occupant behavior haven't been used. Sorry, I need to adjust it. Sorry for that. And then we can see for that I used agent-based modeling to predict occupant behaviors. So the first thing for the interaction and the actions between agents, between a sort of a group of individual agents, so that we can investigate what governs the outcome of the whole system. So in my research, actually, to conduct agent-based modeling, actually we need to identify three elements. The first is the environment where the agent lives in. Here, actually, I used Alan Gilbert Learning Common as a case study. So first, the ground floor and the first floor are used for simulations as so these two floors are used as the environment. Actually, as I mentioned before, Alan Gilbert Learning Common is a relatively new building, so people has less interactions with buildings. So by observation, I spent a couple weeks inside that building, and actually by observation I see the only interactions a student would have with electricity is actually when people go through the building. Actually, the corresponding the lightning was this sensor light was turns on, and then a student could turn off computers, and there's still some manual controlled lights in some in the small of how say that is office, yeah, small office or meeting room. So people need to manually turn on the light. So these are only interactions a student would interact with. So I just as mentioned here, actually the light so have two types of light, so a sensitive and a controlled light. So I need to know. So for instance, like for sensitive light, I need to know once it turns on, how long it will turns off, the duration of the light, and then is the range of its detections, detection range. So here is 5 meters, and then for the computers, it only have 3 status, like on, off, or standby. So, and then for occupants, I need to know how long so the for hourly arrival rate, like how many students will come during certain times, and then how long will the average spend in the office, and then which area in this building will they work. So after determining this logic, I implement agent-based modeling, and some outputs actually I very interested in is the number of students and number of students during each hour, and then is the hourly computer usage, which means the computers actually is in use. So the screen is on, it will consume more energies, and then is number of computers that stand by, and the number of light that is going on during that hour, and actually the last one is for personal devices, because some students, they came to the library. Actually, once they sat down, they were charging their devices, like their phones or pad or so on and so forth. Then actually, what we concern is that occupant behavior could be very random. So one single run of simulation would not be that representative, so that we run this model for 5 times, and then we combine this simulated simulated occupant behavior with original feature set, which is the weather information and the time information, so that and use that to put into the machine learning method. Here we use 4 machine learning method. Here, okay, so this is the generate route by observation. Actually, once a student came into the office, came into the library, first thing is you need to find where you want to work, or either in public area or in a meeting room. After that, actually, you need to decide whether you want to use a computer and charging your devices. So here we made an assumption. So if a person use a computer, he will actually charge his personal devices. And then after that, so one after certain time, this student will leave, and during that time he will make the decision whether he just leave the computer on or turn off the computers. For people in the meeting room, he needs to make an extra decision whether to turn off the light manually. So that's the end of this procedure. So actually, so here is the correlation coefficient so between simulated occupant behavior and the energy consumptions. Actually, we can see the simulated occupant behavior are highly related to energy consumptions, which indicate actually our proposed agent-based modeling actually works. So here is the machine learning performance in predicting building energy based on the different data set. Here, the data set is, I mentioned before, the original data set. We can see, so the root mean square error is quite high, but when we combine this original data, the simulated occupant error drops a lot, actually increased. So, so the conclusion is combine. So actually, in summary, the conclusion we can draw here is agent-based modeling can help simulate occupant behavior and then improve the performance of machine learning method. So here is the overall conclusion of my research. So first, a systematic review was conducted to develop a comprehensive understanding of the application area of building energy consumption prediction. So preliminary exploration of applying machine learning method in predicting building energy consumption was conducted over 3 distinct buildings, which reveals that limited data hinders the performance of machine learning method. And then is a feature selection for a variety of feature selection method, wiper feature selection method outperform all others. And then is a combination of empirical mode decomposition and brutal feature selections can improve the prediction performance of all the selected machine learning method, and the performance of this machine learning method, and no matter what types of building it focuses on. And that is occupant behavior was simulated by agent-based modeling, and the performance of machine learning method was significantly improved with the simulated occupantial data. So I think that's all from me. So thank you so much for your precious time.
Thank you so much for your detailed presentation. Is that the slides for your Viva? I mean,
yes. Sorry, I haven't prepared another one because quite things going on. Yeah.
All right. So actually, we are towards the end of the workshop. So do we have any questions from member of the floor? Okay. I think all are here waiting for the group photo actually.
Yeah.
Can everyone turn on your camera? I mean, from the UK side. From the UK side.
Okay. Boleh tak semua participant line up kat sini untuk ambil group photo? Please stand next to the screen.
You want to say something? You want to say something? I face to you.
Hi, Patrick. Hi, Clara. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Carol.
So you're at the end of the day, we are the starting of our day.
So thank you for having your 3 students here with us. So this is quite studying by them. And we also have today 2 from Malaysia before the Manchester team are presenting here. So we hope that all these training sessions are basically benefits to all the participants, which is all of them are actually PhD students in UITM, and we also have in different faculties from civil, from built environment, and we also have from different universities. We are trying to rearrange for the group photo.
So hopefully we can get everyone's in the photo. Sekejap, Aina. Ya.
Tak payah dulu. Make it full tu.
Sekejap, unshare.
Oh, unshare.
Ya. Sekejap Macam mana nak lashkan dia? How to lash dia? Dia jadi kecil. Pin, I think pin this one. Okay, already pin this. Dah.
Tak nampak semua. Dia tak nampak macam I.
Tak, nanti.
Macam I punya ni. I rasa sebab I the owner tu.
Okay, kan.
I try.
Kejap. One. Kejap.
Are we done?
No idea.
Yeah.
So maybe just keep smiling.
Yeah.
It's done, right?
Okay. Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Alright. Yeah, I want to screenshot all here. Okay.
Okay, Patrick, any last word before we end?
Nothing from me, but yeah, thank you very much for organizing this. I hope it's been useful to all the PhD students who have joined today, both from your side and from our side.
Prof, you can macam facing here. They can see you from here.
Yeah.
Okay, if there is no, then I think we can call it a day. So thanks again for having us and having you guys showing up. Okay, even though you guys just started the day very long.
And on what day?
So hopefully we are going to catch up very soon again. Okay, all right.
Okay, yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for our students as
Bye-bye
well.
then.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.